Welcome back to New Jersey, everyone. I'm Jake Muller, joined by Enosh Shachar, and we're here to talk about some of the common cores that we're seeing in VGC 2020 so far.
Yeah.
Enosh, we put a lot of work into kind of collecting data. We have it all in here in his handy-dandy surface. So why don't you tell us a little bit about, some of the most common teams, maybe a couple cores of 2 or 3 Pokemon that you've been seeing so far?
Yeah, earlier on, very beginning, we went and saw a lot of Whimsicott, Dracovish. We saw that Whimsicott Arcanine beat up Archetype.
Yeah.
And we saw Tyranitar, Excadrill, Braviary being used everywhere. Now we're a little bit a month or two into actual events going on. We've seen a lot of changes. We went and saw very defensive-oriented teams do great at Bochum. We went and saw Fake Tears do very well at Dallas from both Charizard, from both Whimsicott, Charizard, and Grimmsnarl, Togekiss.
Yeah.
So right now, these are kind of the archetypes that are popping up. Milotic Durant, which I think James just mentioned his fear of Durant with the team he was using right now.
Yeah.
So a lot of things are changing right now, and if you type ! Common cores, you'll be able to pull up a bunch of teams that have done well recently and in the past to go kind of keep track of how the meta's changed and use that a little bit of an aid to bring you back up to speed and give you some new starting points that you might not have had otherwise.
I really like that you mentioned the Tyranitar, Excadrill, Braviary core, because I feel like that's something that people were kind of doting as the big three, the kind of the new standard. And we've seen Tyranitar, Excadrill still being successful. We saw 2 of them here in round 1, but Braviary has just kind of disappeared. Could you think there's a good explanation for why it might not have kind of lived up to the hype, or is it just kind of not performing in general?
Well, we kind of had Will-O-Wisp go onto the Arcanine, so you get the Defiant boost.
Yeah. but now you're still burned, so oh well.
Yeah. And now we've also had Rotom getting more use. The Tyranitar Excadrill's just been built better.
Right.
And it doesn't really do enough damage without the boost to things like Togekiss or Dynamax Pokemon in general.
Right.
We realize that Max Knuckle attack boosts are nice, but you're hitting with 90 power instead of 120, and that doesn't feel so good.
Yeah, I know Airstream is still really good, but I think, even in terms of, max Airstream users or Tailwind users, because Braviary does have Tailwind, they're just better Pokemon that fill those roles. I think Whimsicott is just kind of above and beyond a better Tailwind user. We even saw that in that last match, too. And then Airstream, I think we saw Togekiss in that last match, too. So the Braviary role kind of being filled by those other Pokemon.
Togekiss kind of just got recognized as the #1 Pokemon
it's so
recently.
Yeah.
I think it was at 60 or 65% use at Dallas.
That's crazy.
Among the teams that did well.
Yeah.
It's just going up and up.
Yeah.
And it's crazy that Togekiss
I know.
is the #1 Pokemon now.
And it's not even Togekiss sets we've seen in the past, usually Follow Me, Air Slash, Tailwind, Protect, a more bulky set, more supportive. But now they're all offensive, which is a pretty big change. No, Togekiss being an offensive powerhouse isn't something we ever would have said in any previous format. But now, we saw James max his Togekiss and get a bunch of damage off. It had the weakness policy, I believe. So very clearly built to be an offensive Pokemon now.
Well, before you kind of only had 75 power moves, 80 power moves.
Right.
Now Dynamax really changed it all up.
Yeah.
You get 130 power attacks.
With added bonuses that are really good.
Oh my goodness.
All right. Well, you mentioned teams that did well at Dallas. I think you have a couple of these on here.
Yes.
Let's talk about Aaron Traylor's team, the team that won.
Wow, that team, I think it kind of changed the current format. I can't even count how many teams that I saw on the stream go against the Charizard and forget to have a rock attack or an electric move. They had no way to take it out. And then building up on that offense and seeing special attackers start to dominate after such a physical-oriented metagame, everything's kind of flipped on its head already. It seems like we're late into the metagame right off that.
Yeah, so even with the other, built-up of special attackers, we had so many Fake Tears users in that top 8. Aaron had it on his Whimsicott, and then we saw Justin, Kruba, and Burns both have it on their Grimmsnarls.
Yeah.
So that's at least 3 out of the top 8. There might be more that I'm missing, but, how is Fake Tears, kind of making an impact now?
I've loved and hated it. I think that goes for most of us. I've hated not being able to take the hits that I've wanted to.
Right.
Did you realize that Togekiss just one-shots other Togekiss once you use Fake Tears?
No, but that makes sense.
Well, Justin did it twice in Dallas. But yeah, we are pretty much wrapped up with the first round, and we're going to get ready to go into round 2 very soon.
Yeah, moving right along here in New Jersey.
Yeah.
I think before we go, there's maybe one more team we could talk about. I like another team that I saw in here was the team that just topped the Battle Spot ladder, the Battle Stadium ladder, rather. Kind of a wild team there. It's got that Passimian, Vanillux, Grimmsnarl, Gothitelle, Rotomosh, and Chandelure, but probably some sets you really wouldn't expect, specifically in that Gothitelle.
Yeah, you should definitely go look up at this spreadsheet to look into this. There's a link to the blog that goes into all the spreads, and you have all the moves and abilities on there in a paste bin. Check it out because it has competitive Gothitelle, it has weakness policy Vanillux, it has 3 attacks Trick Room, not imprison on the Chandelure. I've never seen a team like that. I don't know if it'll do well at these events,
right?
But I love that someone just takes a team like this and can play it so well, and that's kind of one of the things that we're going to see happen a lot in VGC 2020.
Right.
Hopefully in these next few rounds we see crazy things come up, succeed, and you have good players take the wins that they earn.
Definitely. Well, thanks for joining us. We're going to take a quick little break and then be right back with round number 2 here shortly.
Yeah.